Hey, and welcome to Capital Advantage Tutorings, live from Tuesday night, Chatham, New Jersey. Welcome, and let's see how we do. We had a good weekend. Hopefully the 4th of July was safe and fun. I see we're up to a few people, so let's give it some time and see what happens. If you like what I'm doing, please go into the comments and let us know what you're thinking, and go into the details. And if you want to buy some materials, STC solid, Achievable is really good budget friendly. They have the SIE, the 7 and the 63 in there. STC does everything. If you're looking for other options, you can go into the Amazon link and buy like some Series 7 for Dummy stuff, and we'll go from there. Also, if you really like the person who's doing this Wall Street wrap up every week, Peter Tuchman, he is just awesome, the Einstein of Wall Street. Go on his link and join his club and let him teach you how to trade and find market stuff. Okay, so let's get going. Let's see how my poll's doing. John, how are you? How's everything going? How are we feeling? Let's see. Hopefully everyone's answering this poll a little bit. Let's see how it looks and see what everyone's leaning toward. This is the first time I've ever done a poll, so it's kind of interesting. John, Omar, how are you? You have some news to tell, right? Okay. Ty, you're welcome. Alex, no problem. Happy to help. I'm trying to see how many people are taking this. We have 11 votes so far on this, and it looks like the majority is up to taking the 7. The SIE is in a close lead. Omar, that's awesome. How happy are we to get this done? I think we have one left, right? So congratulations, Omar. I am so happy for you. It's funny, my phone is faster on the chat. Yeah, Omar, it's good stuff to come on here and just tell everyone how'd you find the exam? How about that? Any don't give up any questions, but any pointers on this? Ruben, I'll see you in an hour or so, right? Absolutely. Okay, Ty, so what's going on? So if you have 30 days, how are you studying for this? If your job's on the line, how are you studying for this? What are you doing to study? Yeah, that I agree. There's always a lot of options. I agree. It's starting to even up between the series exams and the SIE. They're starting to catch up, but Series 7 is still the top. Okay, so now Ty, you're using Kaplan now. So yeah, the training consultant. Yeah, I know Tina. Look, the videos cover everything. I tell everyone when you do the training consultants videos, jack them up to like 1.5%, like 150% speed, and it should be okay. It should be better it should be easier to handle. Guys, anyone who's on here, jump in on the poll and let us know what test you're taking. And maybe if you didn't take one, let us know. If you're not even scheduled, you're just leaving. You just you're coming here to say you passed. Okay, Matt, this is a great question. So what should I do in the last 2 days? So my big thing here, before I get to Matt's, Omar, I can't explain. Amy, good stuff. I can't say this enough that when you're taking the exam, everyone will feel like they're failing the whole time. They really do. They all feel like they're struggling with it. They feel like they're failing. Like I said, I have the story of the person who basically gave up with 35 questions and she missed it. She missed it by one question. Yeah, she gave up on 35 questions. So she was probably closer to the 80s when she was doing it. It's just, You got to struggle through it and trust that you're nailing it. Okay. Trust that you know your stuff. Take your time. None of the questions. The problem is it's the wording, right? It's not always how hard the stuff is, just that the wording doesn't match everything you're thinking about. So the wording doesn't always fit what you're thinking. Like, oh, I'm looking for churning, and those answers all kind of dance around the word churning, and you're not sure. So that's why people feel like they're failing. I get it, Omar, 100%. Rose, that is awesome. Omar, I am so happy for you. Look at Rose. She was all worried. Awesome. Rose, I am so happy for you. I am so happy for you. That is great. Can I scroll up? Oh, good, I can. Okay. So now, Ty, what you need to do, since you have 30 days, I'm going to get to you first. Ty, what you need to do is read the book. Read the book straight through. You need to read the book straight through one time. Don't take a lot of notes. Just read it. Then start taking chapter exams to see where you are. Anything you score under a 75 on, reread the chapter. Anything above 75, move on. So I don't just want you to pass. I want you to pass with a little bit of cushion. So that's the way you should spend the next week or two. Just reading the book straight through, since you have 30 days, then take chapter exams, and then that should take you a week and a half or two. And then the last 2 weeks, you're doing finals and reviewing, stuff like that. Okay. Okay, I'll get to Amy in a second. So, Matt, I've got 2 days to study for the 63. So here's the thing. So you have 2 days. So that means you have, I assume you take it on Thursday and not Friday. So you got to go through make sure you get the state stuff down. That's the most important stuff, obviously. Maybe try to speed through the book one more time and then just take questions. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit like. But if I'm not doing anything for you, don't worry about hitting it. Get through the book if you haven't already. Then start taking questions. Just take as many questions as you can, because timing is an issue on this test, okay? So timing is absolutely an issue on this test. So the more questions you do, but don't just blindly do them and rush through it. Do it right, think about it, and then when you see the answer, when you go through it, go through both the right answers and the wrong answers and look it up and try to find out why you got it right. Make sure you got it right for the right reason, stuff like that. That's the goal here, okay? So the goal is to find out where you're weak over the next day, and then like the night before, stop early, like dinner time. So if you're taking a Friday, Thursday night about dinner time, you're done. If you have STC, go through the crunch time facts, okay, and stuff like that. If you have Kaplan, go through I think they have quick facts or something like that, and just keep at it. Just keep taking tests and always attack the weakest section. But don't do 10-hour days. You should just be like, 3-4 hours at a time, and then you take a break, another 3 hours, and then you're kind of done. Okay. Okay, Amy, I got it. Okay. Rose, no, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay. There you go. Yeah, Omar, sometimes they do. So that's true. Asking for extra time always helps because you feel better. But if your test is already scheduled, usually it's hard not to do it. And usually you need that's pretty cool that you speak 3 languages. That's awesome though. But it's usually they need a 10-day lag to schedule you. So if you're booked already, it makes it kind of tough. But yeah, guys, if you have ADD or some sort of learning disability, dyslexia, or if English is your ESL, right? English is a second language. Get the extra time. It doesn't hurt. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Okay. Rose, again, I am so happy for you. Get the 63. Okay. 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 So would you say that if you don't know an answer to the question and answer it like, okay, first of all, you can't leave it blank. Okay. So John, you can't leave it blank. When you answer a question, you have to answer it. So this is what I tell everyone. If you full on don't freaking know the answer, if you full on don't know the answer, just pick one and move on. Don't mark for review. If you're truly 50-50, then you do mark for review. Come back to it later. But if you really don't know the answer, just pick one and move on, because you can't skip. If the only way to move to the next question is to pick an answer. And if you're not sure of it, then you can just put it in the mark for review. But if you're pretty sure it is, stick with it. If you're truly 50-50, then you can do then be fine with doing mark for review. And also, if you look at a question and it's really long and you can get it, but it's going to take a while, pick B or something, mark for review, come back to it later. Maybe you'll have 30 minutes to work on like 10 questions. Who knows? Okay. Okay. Okay, so Jordan, that's a tough one. So usually if you mean time, I think 3 to 4 weeks. It also depends. If you're working full-time, 2 to 4 to 5 weeks. If you're studying full-time, you can probably do it in 3 to 4, but you got to read first. But they always say how many hours, and what are they saying? 80 hours now you should be putting in. So what's 3 hours a day times 3 weeks? That's 21 hours. So figure 60 to 80 hours. Because if you do 4 weeks, that's if you do 3 hours a day times 7, that's 21 times 4, that's like 84 hours. If you do 3 to 4 hours a day, it probably takes 4 weeks. If you can do more, you can probably get it less, but sometimes more isn't better. Remember that. If you do like a 10-hour day studying, I mean, you're probably only getting like 5 hours of studying, but you're tired like you studied for 10 hours. So I like doing 3 hours, take a break, do another 3, and then that's kind of it. And especially if you're working during the day, if you're working, just try to do an hour in the morning or more if you can, and then do it back up like another hour at the end of the day. Don't do all of your studying at night, because then you're going to be tired and it's going to be tough to do. So try to do a lot of Series 7 studying and SIE studying. You really should be taking breaks in between and not killing yourself, okay? Because if you do a 10-hour day every day, I mean, how much do you really, unless you're mainlining Adderall, which I'm not telling you to do, it's going to be tough to do. This was a fun poll. I got 70% of the people taking the 7, 16 SIE, 16 of the other ones, and 0 66. Do you know why there's no 66? Because Rose freaking passed the exam. That's why. Rose passed the exam, so there's no 66. There's no 6 people. So I'm sure she's in the 63 level. Okay, I'm closing that poll to clean it up. I love it. There we go. Okay. Makes the screen a little cleaner. Okay. And there's our final results. Nobody taking the 66. 19 people answered. Okay. KP, I hope that helped a little bit. Okay. That's fine, Ginger. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. So KP. Okay. Again, remember. Hold on. Yeah, little notes and go through practice. 70. Perfect. Suitability and bonds give you the most trouble. Hey, John, how are you? Okay, so let me get to KP's first, and I'll answer John's. Okay. What should I be testing at the practice exams before I take the actual? I know I read it already. I want to hear it again. You should be high 70s to feel good, okay? Yes, look, if you're getting 72, 73s, you're looking okay, but not great, okay? But remember, the SDC exams get harder, right? So the first 2, 3 exams are on the easier side, 4 through 8 or 9. I think they have 8 still. Okay, they're harder. They're much harder. They get harder and harder, and I do think the 8 might be more difficult, like more detail-oriented. But the problem is with the actual exam, it feels harder because it feels like you're failing and you're not sure of your questions. That's where the problem is that you're just not sure of your answers. And that's where people say it's harder. And the wording, you have to get used to the wording. They might use the word assign instead of exercise or something like that. Or they use like coterminous instead of overlapping that. So that's it. So I would think you want to be in the mid 70s. And if a lot of the questions are from like stupid mistakes, like lack of reading, then you feel okay. If you're really missing 25% of this material because you don't know it, then you really got to go back and reread. Okay. Watch my videos. I'm in the middle of editing chapter 1 of the 7. Okay. And by the way, I'm doing the, if you haven't watched it already, I've dropped a video. God, I sound like an idiot. Last week on Wednesday, I put out a video where I'm taking another final. I took the Series 7 final from Achievable. Great program. Go on there and you can take it with me. Hit pause, answer it, and then see how I do it. I got 4 wrong. See if you can figure out which 4 I got wrong. And you'll hear me at the end cursing because there's just stupid reasons. Because if you go too fast, that's what kills you. So that's what hurts me. I mean, maybe I would have got all of them right. I don't know. But basically everyone I got wrong was because stupid reasons. And KP, that's the thing. If you're getting them wrong for stupid reasons, that's better because it means you kind of know your stuff. And you can fix that by slowing down. So if you really want to know your stuff, go on my video, go to the Achievable, go take that test and score yourself and see how you do. Because I go through because basically the 4 wrong, I just skip through them and then you can figure out which ones are which. Okay. Ty, we got it. John, what is a ratio rate? Okay. Okay. A ratio rate is like if you buy stock, there's a thing called beta. So stock is volatile based on beta. Okay. So for the Series 7, this SIE, you might get these questions. The SIE, you probably won't get a ratio rate. But the Series 7, you might. So in the Series 7, if you buy say you buy 1,000 shares of IBM, and let's say IBM has a beta of 1.5, that means it moves 1.5 times what the market does, so it's more volatile. So to properly hedge it or to write a call against it, instead of just writing 10 calls, you'll write 15. You do so you match it up. So if 1,000 shares, it'll be 10 calls. We got that. Hopefully we know that. But if it's at beta 1.5, we're going to multiply 10 times 1.5 and give you more calls. So we're going to write 15 calls and buy 1,000 shares. So that's a ratio, right? Now that should be properly hedged, but the problem is, in reality, technically, by whatever words you want to use, you have 10 covered calls and 5 naked calls. So you now have unlimited risk. That's sort of the problem. Guys, if there's a question on here I haven't answered that I skipped by, let me know. Just repost it. I don't care. I may even act annoyed, but I'm not. So if you, hey, Josh, how are you? Okay. Now, Ginger, ask me some questions, kid. Ask me some questions. Okay. So now, if I'm reading too, and I shouldn't be doing that. I'm reading my phone, which is ahead of my computer, because I'm not scrolling because I have to see. So a ratio right is when you sell more calls than you own stock. And the problem is you're doing it to offset beta a little bit, but you are taking on unlimited risk. And this is what I tell everyone. So if they ask break even, say there's break even, what I do is I put, if you're at break even, you can't do dollar for dollar, right? So if you have 100 shares and 2 calls, don't you have twice as many calls? So I always put the number of calls over the number of stock, and whatever that is, that's how much of the break even. So let's say I have 100 shares and sell 2 calls. I'm going to put the 2 calls on top of the 100, and that's 2 over 1. So it's 2. So I'm going to use twice the premium to figure out. So I'm going to do stock plus or minus twice the premium. Let's say I have 200 shares and 1 call or 1 put. I'm going to take the 1, put it over 200. That's 1 over 2. That means I'm going to use half the premium to figure out the break even. Again, probably not testable, but for the vendor stuff, the books, they probably do it. So again, if I write more calls than stock, I'm going to put it over. Either way, I put it over, but I'm just going to use that, and I'm going to use that number. Say it's 5 for 4. Then I'm going to do 5 divided by 4, 1.25. I'll use 1 1/4. They're not doing that. That's too hard. But let's say I have 100 shares, or not 100, 1,000 shares, and 5 calls. I'm going to put the 5 calls over the 100 shares. 5 over 10 is a half. So I use half the premium to get the break even. Hope that helps a little bit. And guys, if you want help with options, I think people like them. You go into my membership thing, and you can just buy the lowest membership level. It's like $10 a month, and you get access to all my options videos, which will rock your world. If you go up a little higher, the 24, the 99, I have a weekly Zoom call where we get on. And right now it's only been 2 or 3 people at a time, which is almost like a personal lesson. If you really want the big time, the VIP one is $99 a month. And it is, and you basically get a one-on-one session. It's like what I do is every other week, you get a one-on-one max of 2 people in the call. The weekly one, it's unlimited. So it's okay. It's great. And right now it's not so bad. But on the every other week on the VIP, it's a maximum 2. So if I have 4 people doing it, I'm going to do 2 lessons every other week. I do it Tuesday at 4:00. So if you guys are members, anyone on here is a member or reads it, make sure you have notifications on, because I send out a community post to the members to let them know when it's coming up, and they should watch that. Okay, so if you're middle level, it's every Monday at 4. If you're the higher level, it's every other Tuesday. Today was the first one, and every other Tuesday going forward forever. Okay, that I think I did it 3:00 or something like that. Okay. Yeah, Ruben, 100%. Yeah, if you keep switching, you'll drop at first when you switch a vendor. Whenever people switch vendors, their scores drop. So don't. You did send me an email. Did it have anything? I can't remember what it was. I apologize. I've been teaching all day. If you want, if it's a question, put it in here. I'll absolutely help you out. What was I doing with this? If you switch vendors, don't do it like the day or 2 before the test. Do it like a week before so you can have time to recover. Because the biggest mistake you can do is ruin your confidence. If you are on Kaplan and switch to SEC, or SEC and switch to Kaplan, or Achievable, switch to Kaplan the day before, you're going to have a problem because your scores will drop and then your confidence will be shot. Okay. I can do level debt service. Oh, the steak smells good. I hope I get to have some. I have a student after this. Ruben, I'm not having steak because of you. I'll probably eat it at midnight. Okay. So level debt service. John, thank you. Level debt service is basically you're paying the same amount of money every time. So say you have 4 bonds and you're paying, say you're paying $1,000 a month toward the 4 bonds. Every month you're paying, say every year you're paying $1,000 a year. If after at some point when one of the bonds get paid off, you only have 3, but you continue to pay $1,000. So instead of paying $250 per bond, now you're paying $333 for each bond. So now you're paying it off faster. And then say the one of the other bond drops. Now you're down to 2. You're still paying $1,000. That's level debt service. Then you're going to pay $500. That's what's going on here. So as you, if it's just on a bond, one bond, as you pay down some of the bond and the money you owe gets less, you're still going to pay the same amount of money every time. So it speeds up the principal repayment stuff. Okay. Okay. Ginger, what I'm going to do is, and again, I'm not pressuring you this, but I'm going to start posting. I have some questions that I have that kind of look a lot like what's on the exam. I'm going to start posting 2 things. One, for the Series 6, somebody messaged me before that I'm going to do a Series 6 final in the next day or 2. I will do a 66 one from what I saw in the membership one. I have to think, maybe I'll put it here and then membership. I'll have to figure it out. Okay. So Polytech. If you do an hour, so Ginger, I'll see what I can do. If I can do a question before we head out of here, I'll do that. Okay. Going from ground zero to, but if you have any questions, Ginger, put it in here and we can go over it. Going from ground zero to passing, how long would it take to get an hour and a half a day? Okay. Figure if you're doing, that means you're doing 7 hours a week. 5-6 weeks. If it's the SIE, probably 5-6 weeks. Okay. You want to push it to 2.5, and that's going to help you. Okay. That's going to cut it in half. So you're looking at 5 or 6 weeks. Maybe you can do more on the weekends. Okay. So an hour and a half a day from the beginning. And I'm going to tell you how to start. First of all, if you have STC, watch my video on the chapter. God, Josh, how are you, my man? Josh is a strong candidate. I meet like him for a half hour every couple nights, and he's some strong stuff. So, granted, he works for the Evil Empire, but that's okay. If you're starting from zero, what you do is you read the book. But if you have STC, watch my video on the book first, then read the chapter, then start to then move on to the next one. If you want to do little chapter quizzes at the end, that's fine to see if you understand this stuff, but you don't have to. And then work through the whole thing, and then start doing chapter quiz, bigger chapter exams, and once you get over 75, move on to the next one. It's the same thing. Rinse, repeat, all that crap. Okay. I'm working on it. Okay. Oh, you're talking about do a whole exam. Okay, I got it. Okay. I know what you're saying. I'm working on that. I don't have access to a 66 one. But here's what'll help you. Go watch Ginger. Go watch my 63. Go to watch one where I took the 63 exam. That's half the exam. Okay. So so go watch the one where I take the Series 63 exam and go and look at that one. And that should help you with half the exam. I'll try to get, I have one that's from a while ago. Maybe I'll do that and I'll see if I can do that. I have to get permission first. So it's from Notman. I'll have to reach out to them and get permission. Okay. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now, Jacobs, how do I do muni bonds by month versus by year? Okay. We're not going to accrete. None of the tests will not make you do accretion by the month. They're not doing that. So what you're going to do for accretion, remember, so I have a video on accretion and amortization. So maybe go take a look at that. But accretion is for discount bonds. What are you going to do? If you buy a bond for $800 and it's 10 years to maturity, what do? The discount is $200. So we take 200 divided by 10, and then we add that to the cost basis every year. And then every year that we do that, the cost basis goes up and up and up and up. On the premium side, we do amortization. So say it's a $1,200 bond, 10 years to maturity, $200 over par, divide by 10. That's $20 a year. We're going to drop the cost basis by $20 every year. Okay, so that's amortization. Now, here's the rules on this. If it's an OID, you must accrete. Get that in your head. OID, you must accrete, which means if it's a zero coupon, you have to accrete. If it's a secondary market discount, which means it moved on its own because interest rates went up, you don't have to accrete. On the premium side, if it's a treasury or corporate, you don't have to amortize, but if it's a muni, you do. So this is the way to remember it. Muni premiums, you have to, and all OIDs, you have to. Everything else, you don't have to. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit like, make me feel good, make me feel like I'm actually doing something here. Okay. 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 Yeah, perfect, John. I got, okay. Okay. I'm going to do the 60, Ginger, do the 60. Yeah, I think you said, okay, do the 63 videos and go from there. So Josh, tax implications of buying bonds in the secondary market. So if you buy a bond in the secondary market, what are you going to do is you're going to buy it. Usually they do costs where it's like, I buy it here and then I sell it. You're just going to take you're going to pay tax on the interest or not if it's a muni. And then you're just going to take the difference of where you bought it and where you sold it. And that's it. The big thing they're going to do most of the time, it's going to be on the accretion side because that's the stuff they want you to know. Okay. They want you to know the accretion. Okay. So they want to know that if it's an OID, you have to accrete every year. You raise the cost basis. I'd say, again, my example before, you buy an $800 bond, 10 years to maturity. We know it's 200 divided by 10, $20 a year. If 3 years later, I sell the thing at 900, what's my capital gain? Okay, well, 3 years times $20 or $60, 800 to 860. That's my 800 to 860. That's my $60. My cost basis is now 860. I sold it at 900 for $40 capital gain. Hope that helps. Okay. Thursday's your day, Josh. I like this. I think we're going to nail this thing. I know we're going to nail this. Okay. Take your time. I tell everyone the day before, not a lot of tests. Don't do anything late night. Yeah. So Ginger, don't worry about the membership thing. I think that's just me rambling. I'm going to think to the option stuff on that. And, so you're saying you want to, if I do, when can you do, Ginger? Because the guy I'm doing on Monday, I might be able to, John's, I think, is taking it. I'll see if John can do a little later. What time Eastern could you do if I did that once a week multiple membership thing, the $24.99 one? Let me know. If you want, send me an email. That's fine, because I could probably do it. Because I'm making it up as I go with this stuff. I just got to make sure I meet once a week. If you do the bigger one, I'll move. If you do the VIP, I'll meet anytime you want. I mean, because I have in my schedule 2 slots that I'm allowed to do it. I do one at night, one during the day. So I did the one today with Ryan, and I think he liked it. It worked. It was a full hour, basically a one-on-one session for and he gets another one before he takes it. Okay. Okay. I think we're going to go short tonight. It's the Thursday night. It's a Tuesday night. It's summer. We got a lot of people on here having some good time, but I don't see a lot of questions, which is fine. I think it just did I miss any questions? Did the level of debt service? Okay. So don't worry about the days. Remember, Josh, this is not a day test, right? So yeah, that is a fair question. Reread customer accounts. That is a big thing. Reread customer accounts and make sure you got it, because everyone thinks it's not on it because it's the SIE, but it damn well is. Okay, it absolutely is on the test. So there's definitely customer account stuff. There's definitely suitability. I'm in the middle of doing chapter 1 on the of series 7, which is just the customer stuff. So hopefully 5:30 Eastern. So if I did it like 6 o'clock, you could do it. So if I did this Monday at 6 o'clock, you could get on there and I could just be you, me, and one other person maybe. Okay. Okay. Right. So that's why I tell people go, yeah, taking the 7 is not, the problem is there's no actual FINRA exam. So what I'll do is I'll tell whoever, what is it? John, I think does it. He's going to do it with me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, maybe I'll do it to 6 o'clock my time on Monday and go from there. See what happens. And then you can ask questions and come back and forth. Okay. Okay. Need free or cheap. I got it. Okay. I hear you. I got it. So here's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to kill you on that, but for $25, you get an hour lesson. Just so. Okay. So, I'm with you on this. So I'm gonna look. This is what I'm gonna do, Ginger. Don't worry about. I'm gonna move it to 6 anyway. If you want to jump in and do it and do the $24 thing, it's fine. If not, don't sweat it. Maybe what I'll do is that's interesting. Maybe I'll do John will discuss it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a replay. So anyone who's on it, I'll replay it later, like a couple days later, and put it out there as a post. My lessons. That might not be a bad idea because then people get it. They don't. So the people who pay the membership get the value of a back and forth, but all the people who can't afford it yet get the value of learning some good shit because I am good at what I do. Okay. Let me work on that. Let me think about that. Let me make sure it doesn't piss anyone off. Even if that means I shut off the people's videos so they can't see me or I can't see them or whatever. Okay. No, you do not need to know the bond buyer index inside out. Do not know it. But this way, if I ever had to learn that, I would be dead. So the bond buyer is a newspaper website that lists all new muni stuff. Okay, so you don't need to know it cold. You need to kind of know what it's doing. Okay, you need to know a lot of that stuff. You need to know, you need to know that they have the indexes in there. That's where you find the visible supply. Josh, what's the visible supply? I'm going to ask you. What is the visible supply? Do 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 do. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm gonna start answering it. You don't have to answer it in a question, just answer it. The visible supply is, oh God, Ginger, you got so much time. So Ty, hold on. So perfect. Yes, it's the dollar amount. Ty, Ty, I thought you smart. Yes, perfect. It's the next 30 days. It is how many bonds are coming out to be issued in the next 30 days. And yes, I love it. It's the bond, it's the dollar amount. Everything on the bond buyer is never how many bonds, it's the dollar amount. So what's the placement ratio then? How about that one? Either Ty, Josh, anyone can answer. Ginger, you got so much time. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Make sure you go over my quick and dirty video. I have a student that I got. She's great. I think she's 69 or 70, and she said she plays my that quick and dirty thing, but she can't play it too loud because there's a couple dirty words in there. Okay, close enough. So it's the percentage. The placement ratio is the percentage of new issues coming out that are actually sold to the public. Okay. So the placement ratio is the percentage of bonds that are actually placed in the hands of the public versus how many are issued. I like it. Okay, good stuff. Okay, Ginger. Ginger, because she's taking the 66. What's efficient market theory? What is the weak form of efficient market theory? That's your question, Ginger. And Rose, your question, since you're on the 63, if you didn't start studying it, let me know. But if you did, what is qualification? What is registration by qualification? Should play I think if I play the Jeopardy music, I'll get a copyright strike because I can't play that. Okay. So efficient market theory, weak form, believe that all prices are built in, and I'm killing it. It's all prices are built in and everything's random. I always think of random walk theory. So Rose, tell me what registration by qualification is. I'm calling you out. And if you haven't read the book, let me know. Okay. So good. 63. If you've started reading the book, what is registration by qualification? If you don't know, here's your backup one. What's a broker-dealer? Good. Okay. I agree. It is. I know it's a tough year. It's a tough year. It really is. It's tough for everyone. I had a tough year. It's getting better now, but I mean that's why I'm doing these twice a week now. I'm only supposed to do it once a week. Now I do it twice a week until everyone has their jobs back. So weak form of efficient market theory is a theory that everything's random. You can't predict the future, and buy and hold, and fundamental is the best way to the best way to invest. They don't believe that you can beat the market, so they think technical analysis, and there's no such thing as alpha. Okay. So CAPM Efficient market theory is weak, semi-strong, and strong. So they all believe that you can't beat the market. Okay, that's what they all be. Efficient means that the market's efficient. You can't beat it. That's the rule. Weak is all the prices are built into the stock and it's all random. You can't predict the future based on history. Semi-strong believes that all news that is public. Ginger, love it. Ginger's right. One state is qualification is registration in one state. No SEC registration. On to this. So semi-strong is the belief that all news that is out there in public is built into the price. And any new news that comes out is quickly assimilated into the price. So again, you can't beat the market unless you're in possession of inside information. So again, fundamental is the best way to do it. Strong, it believes that all news, public and private, is built into the price. This is all my quick and dirty, right? All news, public and private, is built into the price. And again, you can't beat the market because you can't do it because it's all the prices are built in. So efficient means that it's unbeatable, okay? Now, CAPM is all about risk and reward, basically saying if you want more reward, you need more risk. Two different things, okay? CAPM is all about a normal person will be able to take some sort of risk to get a return. So you know that it's the management if you think of risk and reward. So if you know that you want a higher reward, then you're going to fucking need higher risk. You got to take higher risk on your ass, okay? That's CAPM, okay? Well, if I do this right and I head out now, I might have some. The steak they're cooking it in the storm, which is fine. And maybe I get to have a bite before my session with Ruben. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Okay, Rose, everyone on here, you guys have a thing. You have to read, and I want everyone to come up with 2 questions for Thursday. I'm going to hold every one of you accountable. Everyone on here has to read the stuff and come up with 2 questions for Thursday night. 2 questions. You ask one, I answer it, then you ask a second. Everyone on here. So there's 13 people on here right now. You're being challenged, okay? I know it was up to 25 before, but right now, the challenge is you need to come up with 2 things that you are struggling with tomorrow, all right? Okay, John, everyone, Ty, thank you. Ginger, good night. Rose, Jacob, you do, everyone, okay? And Omar, congratulations again. And where's the other guy who passed? I love it. Oh, he came on. Alex, you too. Polytech, get on the reading. Do some stuff. Get on this, okay? Somebody else passed. Oh, yeah, Rose did. Okay. Matt, you're taking it in 2 days. You're taking it Friday, I hope, right? If you are, you have to come up with questions for me too, okay? Matt, if you're on here, before I go out, what's a broker-dealer? Oh, right? I closed the door. You saw that? How did you see that, John? I closed the door on my thumb about a week ago. So now it looks like I'm goth because I have a black finger now, right? Okay. I'm waiting for it to fall off or something like that. Yeah, and you know what? My family goes? They go, you're an idiot. Of course you did. No sympathy, no nothing. Okay. Ryan, we got this, all right? Good stuff. Okay. So you all have something to do. You have a homework assignment. Okay. I love that thing. Okay, everyone, you all have a good night. Wash your hands and let me go eat that steak. Okay. It's all right. Shit happens. It hurt like a son of a bitch. I had to go teach in the city, and I'm teaching with my hand in mortar and taking Motrin and crap like that. It was not good. I was crying like a baby. Okay. Oh, Amy, you asked a question. Okay, before you go, Amy, you need to just read and get the concepts. Don't do the little stuff. Do not hang up in the details. Get the big stuff. Get the big concepts. That's the goal. And then every time you see a product, say, why did I buy it? Why should I buy it? Who should buy it? And why should I not? Every single product you see should be that one. Anyone? Y'all, good night.